welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Yoon, and in today's book related video I will be doing another annotating. Sorry, I'm like fighting off the last of my cold. I will be doing another annotating slash reading vlog in which I will be annotating Heartless by Marissa Meyer, as I already told you in my previous vlog of All the Lovers in the Night. And this one I also DIY sprayed edged one. This one was the most fun to follow because we had like a theme to follow through with, but it also became quite flaky, so that was really disappointing. But I think it's like settled in nicely enough. And yeah, I did stain the parts a little black, which is, but that happens. And yeah, so I have my system set up and I highlighted the first quote here, and I just started the first sentence and I immediately stopped because I have to get ready to go soon, and I don't know if I want to read today, but I started and I just wrote, "Oh dear me, the font size is a lot smaller than I had expected or than I thought." And yeah, I did start reading this like several years ago, and I got to the point where they're in the ball and she meets the jest for the first time, and then I stopped. But I am very intrigued to see how the Red Queen of Hearts becomes who she was later as the Red Queen of Hearts that we know today. I don't know what happens, but I'm going to assume from what I know of the Red Queen of Hearts that I kind of know more of, which is the Disney one. She's still forced to get married, and then she cuts off the king's head. So yeah, I am expecting some feminine rage here, and the quote to be, "I support women's rights, but more so or something, I support women's wrongs." And we'll see if that follows through. So yeah, and that's it for now, and I'm going to get ready and everything, and then I will update with some annotation parts later. Bye. Okay, so super quick update before I go dry my hair, but I got to page 21 and I already can see why Catherine snaps and becomes the Red Queen. Like, I don't know how she becomes the Red Queen, like how exactly happens or what pushes her to the edge, but I'm already like seeing the, what do you call it, I'm already seeing like the reasons that are building up. So yeah, like I am not blaming Catherine at this point, and I do want to try getting into like, so I think I just got spoiled because I was looking for I want to try listening to a playlist, and I found several. One of them has 1,180 likes and the other has 2,250 likes. I think I'll go for that one, so it's this one. So I got spoiled. So the Mary Ann I Hate You spoiled it. So we'll see how it goes. well, I just got to chapter 8. And first of all, thoughts on the playlist. I feel like I think I would like a playlist that matches more the progression of the plot rather than the vibes of either the important parts of the book or like the characters, because the playlist I'm at right now kind of seems to be more into the vibes now, but more of the romance that's gonna happen later. And it seems like it's also just looking for Wonderland related songs, so I'm not too into it. So there's that. And right now, plot wise, nothing big is happening. We had the one big thing where she almost got engaged to the king, and it was just so frustrating to hear, to just see what she had to deal with, especially with the men in the story. Like, it was awful. And the whole fact that she probably can't reject the king, and he's 15 years older than her, that's gross. I did not realize he was 15 years older than her. I thought he was like a young king, but the fact that he's 15 years older is just gross. She had her first moment with the jester. It's kind of cute, a little insta-lovey, so I'm not sure how much into that I am, but I am having fun, and I'm gonna stop there for today. And yeah, I will update you guys next time. Hi everybody, welcome back to the vlog. First, hopefully you can't hear my sister talking in the background, but 2, that buzzing is driving me insane. I'm gonna go crazy. But first, second of all, so sorry that I haven't updated you guys on how Heartless is going, whether it's through like reading or where I'm at in the story and my thoughts. I've only been able to read at night, but my sister has to go to sleep early at night, so obviously I can't film. Don't want to risk her in the shot. I can't talk because even me whispering could wake her up, and I don't want to risk that either. And so yeah, but to the story, I'm on page 206 and I'm on chapter 24. And my thoughts so far is I'm a little confused, a little bored, a little lost. Because, okay, so first let's start with the bored part. We are 200 pages in, and I still feel like there hasn't been any development or progression in any elements of the story so far. So it doesn't feel like there's any character development of any sort. It doesn't feel like there's any relationship development of any sort. We get some, but it's not. So like the summary itself says a secret courtship. We are not there yet. 200 pages in, we are not at the secret courtship. And like I feel like there's no plot development. Like, I feel like at this point we're almost halfway. We should be reaching the highest point of Catherine's life, and then we should be starting like the descent into her becoming the like mad Red Queen that we all know of today. So it's the fact that it feels like nothing important to the progression and the result of, and like what I'm assuming is going to be like the tragic creation of the Red Queen. Like, none of that has happened except for like maybe one detail, but because that still has to be explored in the book, it just feels like a secret that's been revealed. But you know, the characters themselves are not thinking too much on it. So I'm very like I'm a little bored. And one thing I'm super confused about is this part that I'm confused about is a spoiler, so I'll put like the time thingy. Hopefully I remember, don't forget. But so I only really watched the live action Disney movie, and the cartoon movie I watched it when I was a kid, so I obviously don't remember the details or anything, and I don't know how well those two obviously the live action one is not very accurate to the original, since it's like you know, she's like returned to Wonderland instead. Okay, so the way I am understanding it is that there's only two sides to the overall kingdom of Wonderland, or to the world, is that there's the red kingdom and the white kingdom, and there's only one ruler per things. But if we're thinking about it, well, they say chess. What am I thinking of? I don't know what's going on anyways, but it confused me even more because we find out that Jest is like basically a spy sent by the White Queen to figure out a way to end the war between her and the Red Queen. The way I'm understanding it is we don't have a Red Queen right now, but it's going to be Catherine if she marries the king. So I like really don't know why none of the characters are realizing that if she marries the king, she's going to be put against Just anyways. And it's just, I can see this being like doubly tragic. So first it's like the forbidden love and the fact that Just is only a court joker and Catherine is the daughter of the marquise, whatever. Another tragic aspect, I think, is the fact that like I said, if they're technically on opposing sides, even more so if the marriage does follow through and she will become the Red Queen, but he works for the White Queen. So I like really don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm just like, I don't know how I managed to read 200 pages and only now realize that technically not much has happened, or not much that seems relevant to the main plot and point of this book. So there's that. It was a lot of talking, so sorry about that, but these are the thoughts I've been having for like, I think I updated you guys at 100 pages for like the extra 100 pages since I got here. So I'm going to, the way the rest of the vlog is going to be filmed, I think, is going to show just me some annotating some more, and then once I'm done reading it. So yeah, that's my thoughts so far, and I will update you guys later. I also forgot to say is, I don't know if it's also because I'm just not attached or invested in either the characters or like the relationship that's been developing so far, and if that's like a reason why I'm very bored or just feel like nothing's happening, because I do think there's some development between Jess and Catherine, but I feel like it's just like crumbs, especially since they say secret courtship. We're almost halfway through and there's like not even stepping into that anymore, so I don't know what's going on. And there was one more thing I wanted to say. What was it? Well, for more on the relationship, I don't know if I'm like finding their interactions cute because I find Just charming and attractive, and that's like making me think it's cute, or if it kind of is like a little bit cute, just maybe not as cute as I'm thinking. And there was another thing I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, so I don't see a lot of Heartless content anymore, or even ever really, but from what I would see, I saw a lot of good things about it, but surprisingly, not like this is a bad thing, but surprisingly, I don't see a lot of people talk about, I guess, like a trigger warning of her mom. Like immediately off the bat, you can see that her mom is a toxic, emotionally abusive. I don't know if it's abusive, but like emotionally manipulative, I think, and very controlling mom. And I feel like the mom is a very big factor as to Catherine not only becoming the Red Queen, but her becoming the Red Queen that she becomes, like that we know of, like the mad Red Queen that is known in Alice in Wonderland stories today. Like the comments she would make, oh my goodness, there is a lot of fat shaming here. And oh yes, that's the word, there's a lot of fat shaming here, surprisingly, and it's just crazy how toxic and like red flag her mom is. And I was absolutely shocked because of all the things I would hear about Heartless, that was rarely ever one of them. So I would I don't know if this might matter, but you know, content warning, mommy issues, emotionally manipulative, fat shaming, toxic, red flag mom. So there is that. And yeah, this book is like slightly dark in a way that we probably don't have to deal with now, or maybe we do just differently. But the power imbalance that is like mentioned throughout is like actually pretty freaky, because even if she is a Marquess, she still is a subject of the king, and it's kind of like two ways. Like, technically you can't say no to the king because he is the king. You have to obey the king. So the fact that he could just tell you to marry him, and you basically can't say no. And then another aspect is there's this one quote that's like, and it's like, a happy king makes for a happy kingdom. So it's like, not only can you technically not say no to the king, you can't say no to the king unless you want the kingdom to suffer because of the type of king that the king is. So I feel like that's always been, that's like a very I guess the best word is like unnerving part, that always, anytime they bring up like a happy king is a happy kingdom, it always like just makes me so, because of the, just like, I guess the implications of that through Catherine's decision to, at the very least, spoiler alert, accept the courtship. And yeah, so this has become like 12 minutes of talking, so sorry for that, but that is overall my thoughts, overall what's going on. And yeah, now I will show you some annotating and then get back on the final update. There's like some weird horror take all of a sudden with this whole pumpkin plot. I don't get it. So this whole pumpkin couple mystery plot, horror plot is too suspicious. It's too weird. The song is not matching what's happening in the book. Oh my gosh. So I finished Heartless by Marissa Meyer. We have made it. I was very strongly wanting to DNF it, and I would have if it weren't for the fact that it was for an annotated book exchange with a friend. So I think I was page 206 last time I updated, and I have gotten to the end, and I am rating this a solid 3 out of 5. I think if it weren't for the ending, where are my thoughts? Okay, I need to organize my thoughts. Give me a second. Okay, so you guys already know most of my thoughts that I had for the first half of the book. It still is that, like, the biggest disappointment, I think, is the fact that it took like 370 pages for the story to finally feel like it was going somewhere, because for like that majority of the book, it felt like it was like a pattern of repetitive scenes, whether it was like plot wise or character wise. So for example, How will we start it? She dreams of having a bakery. Well, maybe we'll start off with like a comment from her mother. She plans and dreams, fantasizes about the bakery and then later like jest or something. She has a disappointing and stressful solo stroll or encounter with the king. His attempt to propose to her gets interrupted by something, and then she kind of what is and then she like stresses, and her desire, her dream becomes stronger, something like that, right? And it happens, and like that kind of like pattern happens every new location. So it got very repetitive in a way. It got really boring, and because of that, it never felt like we were actually starting to progress to her descent as the Red Queen. And while the like last 1/4 of the book did pick up, it did save the rating, it did also happen a little too fast. Like, so I think we can tell the very foreshadowed plot thing here. That happened so fast that I didn't feel anything for the thing, and I was liking this character too. So I felt zero sadness, zero sense of loss, and I just kept reading because it was such a short scene, both for what happened and the second for like emotional release, I think it might be the right word. There's just such a startlingly lack of emotional attention given to that scene that it was very weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than it was just really weird to read such a pivotal point in the story be treated surprisingly that emotionlessly. And so that happened. And oh, I do think one thing I needed to know is the original Alice in Wonderland, because I think I might have said this, but I only know the live action. Seeing, what's the word, elements or references that I know of that were like written in the live action did confuse me as to like what canon or like which Alice in Wonderland we're following here. I'm assuming it's the original, but I didn't read the original, so I have no idea exactly how to take the references or like look at it or something, I guess. And on that note, the world building was actually so confusing. I don't know, like the world building was very weird, and at this time I can't credit it to the whimsicality of Alice in Wonderland that did follow through in this book. And also, one thing that I didn't fully understand either was how, like, I really liked the character reveals and like development in the end, where like it was very fast, like obviously like it was too quickly dealt with or like revealed, but I still liked it. But one thing, obviously we know she becomes the mad queen, Red Queen. I don't understand how the reason for her becoming mad and the Red Queen, how that resulted in kind of the Red Queen that's always like off with their heads or anything like that, because it was very specific. I feel like I understand one element, which does make it more tragic, but yeah. So for me, this was a good 3 out of 5. I might maybe 2.5 as more accurate, considering more than half of the book was not that fun for me. But yeah, the ending, I like the way it ended because the ending does impact me more, so I have a better outlook of this book. And yeah, that was it. I think I should, oh, maybe before I end it, I'll end it showing some of my annotations. And again, so I'll end this talking now with an annotated flip through. guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. One thing I realized is that when I read, I'm very emotionless. Like, I don't really react that strongly. So, hoping one day to find a book that I do react very strongly to, other than some of the ones I have already read. But I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, please like and subscribe. And check out the other one that I did of All the Lovers in the Night. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys again for watching. Please let me know what you thought of Heartless. And also, if you happen to know if it follows the original one more, because I did keep getting this confused with the Disney live action. So that was it for this video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.